that's describe your view of the work of the town clerk.
Well,
And again, just a reminder that these are now 3-minute responses.
well, town clerk is a public servant, and that means that they serve the public, all of the public. I think it's important that the town clerk, as somebody who is the face of government that most of us see, that and the IRS, I think one of them should be nice, right? They need to be informed. They need to keep up with current technologies and keep up with current laws. They are a representative of the state. They are a member of the executive bureaucracy. They are there to help you because the taxpayers pay their salary and because you're a public servant. You want to serve the public, and that's all of the public. The jobs are to take accurate notes to help the system of government run. You need paperwork. You collect taxes. That's what most licensing fees are when you look at it. It's just a tax. The town clerk job is to serve as the board, to help the board communicate with the public and the town of Ledyard, and to help the people in Ledyard that come to Ledyard be able to get what they need in an expedient, efficient, and friendly manner.
Bruce,
Yeah.
your response?
I've been the town clerk for 10 years. I work in a little office that's about 12 by 12, and I'm usually by myself all the time. It's a really non-glorifying job. I typically have to let the supervisor know that I'm not a secretary. That's just my, little comment there. But I can tell you really quite a bit about the job. I'm going to read some of the duties. Okay. Public relations person. This is kind of important because it's the first person you meet when you come into the town hall. So that person should be pretty cheerful and patient and informative. Oftentimes the town clerk will be in office for like 30 years. They'll actually be in a retirement system, and it'll be just like any other job because it's not really political. I mean, we're not making policy. We're just kind of servicing the people, like Ed said. So it's important to be positive and have the ability to listen. And a lot of the times, we got to do 20 things at once. So you get started on one thing, and then you got to respond to the window with someone, and then you got to go back to it, and somebody calls, and then all these things are going on, and it makes you crazy. So remember, we're doing this in 9 hours a week, 9. And so this is what we do. Okay, it's generally considered the center of local government because that's the first impression you get when you go to the town hall. We author the minutes books. I'm going to read this because I don't remember what I do. Official record of the activities of the town government. The resulting volumes are retained permanently for legal and historic purposes. And it says few individuals are actually given this great responsibility. Which, it is. It is. I'm just, I always think of my job as like, this is like such a teeny tiny job. So all of you guys here, this is really impressive. When I took the job, nobody in town wanted the job. So I went to the board and interviewed, and it was pretty simple, and I got the job. I wasn't voted in at first. The previous clerk resigned, so they needed a new clerk midterm. Okay, so we're custodians of all town records, responsible for the archive files, the storage and disposition of inactive files, and the careful maintenance of archival materials. Administrator of the Freedom of Information Law, which guarantees your right to know the workings of government. We maintain records of adoption, town ordinances, local laws, town oaths of office, resignation petitions, proof of publication, annual budgets, assessment rolls. Just imagine this in 9 hours a week, and $12,000 a year. Fiscal reports, notices of lien, subpoena and court actions, bonds, notes, registers, zoning ordinances, and maps. I'm also the Zoning Board of Appeals Secretary and the Secretary for the Code Enforcement Officer.
Okay, Rose, thank you.
Okay.
All right,
Lots more.
the next question will probably allow you to continue that answer if you would like, because the third question is, describe the strengths you bring to the work. You get to go first.
Okay, my strengths, I can multitask really well. After having 4 children and tons of cows, I can do this. And I love my job. I love it because it's a real juxtaposition to my farm life. So I come into the office and say, wow, this is the way most people live, you know. It's really great. It's extremely busy most of the time. And I've gotten to do it so well that I can fit it into these hours. I'm also the assessor clerk, which is more hours in the day. But the town clerk job, which also includes issuing state licenses, permits, including marriage, dog, conservation, hunting, all kinds of things like that, junkyard laws. We control the cash for the town. It's a responsibility. We have a responsibility for numerous duties relating to billing, collection, and disbursements of funds. All incoming cash is recorded and dispersed with state, county, local fiscal officers. We have to, we're accountable to the state for a lot of things. We are also the contact person for FEMA, for the Census Bureau. So things are happening in there very quickly. And I should say that typically it takes 2 years to teach a town clerk. I've gone to a lot of training, and I'm also, even above and beyond the job of a clerk, I am a notary public, which is very important because we only have one other in town, and at the bank, and if the bank's closed, you can't get there. Also, I am a passport agent, and no more can clerks be passport agents. I was grandfathered in 2004. Actually, they've removed the dealing with birth certificates. I cannot deal with birth certificates anymore. So this is typical of my same-sex marriage issue. The state has actually said, oh, you can't do that anymore. So now I have to give that back to the registrar and the deputy registrar. So, it's a complex job. And we do a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. A lot of reporting, filing, the archives. I'm the manager, records manager. So, and then dealing with the town board. I love my job. I love the people that work there. It's really fun working with Mark Jordan and Brian Hakes and everybody else there. We have a lot of fun. So do I have my time?
It looks like you're almost up.
30 seconds. Whatever. That's the job.
Ed, your response to the question of describing the strengths you bring to the work?
One of the things that I bring to the job is that, having worked in customer service so long, you do learn time management and multitasking, and I have worked on so many different data processing platforms because every company has a different one, and every 2 or 3 years they decide to pay somebody to come up with another one. My grandfather was a genealogist, and I've been tracking records and digging through old records since I was old enough to tag along with him. But I think that's some of the most important ones. And personally, I bring a conscientiousness. I bring a lot of experience in dealing with people. And that is a large portion of what this job is. I also bring with it a willingness to learn and to do the whole job and to help everyone.
So we'll move on to question number 4, and Ed, this question goes to you first. From your perspective, what are the implications when an elected official's duties and personal beliefs are not in alignment?
It's a very hard situation that happens frequently. It is regrettable that sometimes your government asks you to do things you don't want to do. I think it's massively important that people are willing to stand up and say, I believe this is wrong. I don't want to do it. I resign. I would not say that anybody should ever feel like the government is making them change their beliefs. Your beliefs are your own, and they're protected by the Bill of Rights. But when you take on a position as a representative of the government, you are the government. As Rose said, you're the first person that people see from the government when they come into the town of Ledyard. You represent the town of Ledyard. Every time you speak as an elected official, you are the town of Ledyard. And you have to be honest with yourself. Does the town of Ledyard believe in the rule of law? Is it acceptable for our elected officials to decide they don't want to do one part of the law? And sometimes it's inconvenient for the rest of us to have to say, yes, you need to step down. Even though I understand the knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people have, that Christianity is under attack. But we're not saying that you can't wear a rosary. We're not saying you can't pray. We're saying you have to follow the law. And the law of New York says that the clerk and the clerk's office will sign same-sex marriage licenses. And even a deputy clerk signs at the permission and as a representative and with the authority of the town clerk. So even a deputy clerk is still signing with the clerk's authority, even if it's just an argument of, it's not my pen.
So Rose is.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Ed on everything except my religious conviction in the workplace. You see, I struggled with this quite a bit when the law changed. And being in the office for 10 years, I was never tested like this. So I had to really think about it. And then I had to think about, see, it's not like just wearing a rosary for me. I'm a Bible-believing Christian, so I have a really serious addiction to God. I have a big faith. I have to answer to God. I want to obey God. So who should I be a hypocrite to? God or people or myself? Yeah. So I want you to realize that I struggled with this. I want you to realize that I'm trying to be honest. And I want you to realize that I do not want to be another hypocritical politician. I'm not a politician. I'm one individual who has a very, very special relationship with Jesus Christ. That relationship is real to me. God is alive for me. He is living and he's here tonight. And he is in my face every day. And I just can't do this. Okay, so then I went to the law and I said, okay, I can't break the law here. I'm not going to do that because that's also ungodly. So I got a little bit of help from the Alliance Defense Fund, who it's a group of lawyers who represent Christians and family values and stuff like that. So they sent me a memo because a couple of clerks did resign before I had this issue. And they didn't know that there was a way that maybe they could work through the law and get this to be okay. So I took this memo and I brought it to the board. And the memo says there's 2 laws in New York that would protect me if I was to delegate the marriage application process to a deputy. So one law says that, yes, indeed, a town clerk can deputize someone and delegate the duties of town clerk to the deputy. The other law says, it's a human rights law, and it says that I do not need to leave my religion at the door of my workplace, and that if it is possible, I can have a religious accommodation so that I can be free of doing wrong in the face of my God. I don't have to deny my faith, and the work will get done. Now, if there is hardship, undue hardship, this law says, then this would not work.
Rose, thank you.
Okay.